Well, if you're anything like me, the first time you've probably ever heard about personal finance was from this guy called Robert Kiyosaki in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And the entire premise of the book was simple. Assets are something that put money into your pocket, while liabilities are something that take money out of your pocket. And the formula to get rich was this: you increase your assets while you decrease your liability. So the 17-year-old version of me had found the secret sauce, and I just couldn't wait to get rich. But here's where I had got it all wrong. I had forgotten to account for the fact that human beings are complex. On the one hand, we're capable of innovation and discovery, while on the other hand, we're irrational and we're also stupid at the same time. Morgan Housel puts it best. He says, "You're not a spreadsheet. You're a person, a screwed up emotional person." So take this example of how Rihanna nearly went bankrupt and sued her financial advisor. To which her financial advisor replied, "Was it really necessary to tell her that if you spend money on things, you'll end up with the things and not the money?" And as much as we're inclined to judge Rihanna on how stupid she was to have made all those financial decisions, a lot of us do need to be reminded that if we spend money on things, we'll end up with the things and not the money. So basically, when people are saying that they want to be a millionaire, what they're actually saying is they want to spend $1 million. And spending $1 million is the exact opposite of having $1 million in your bank account. So it suffices to say that finance is less about crunching numbers in your calculator and more about understanding the human behavior. This understanding of how the human behavior directly affects the economy led to the birth of a subject called behavioral economics. And it was first proposed by a guy called John Morris Clark, and he made an interesting observation that a man or a woman can only be able to manage their finances with respect to the environment that he or she is subjected to. And before we judge ourselves, for all the financial decisions, stupid financial decisions that we've made throughout our lives, we need to understand that money is a very subjective topic. What might be crazy to you make total sense to me, and what might seem crazy to me might make total sense to you. And that's because our money beliefs are shaped by a lot of factors. Factors like what part of the world you were born in, what kind of culture did you grew up in. So all these factors end up shaping your money beliefs. And that's why there are tons of books on personal finance with conflicting philosophies. Some financial gurus will tell you if you use your credit cards properly, then you can pave your way into financial freedom. While on the other hand, some gurus will tell you that credit cards are exactly the reason why you're not able to, create a financially sustainable life for yourself.
Welcome to the real world. It sucks. You're gonna love it.
As much as there are a diverse range of human beings all over the world, there are diverse range of opinions about money. So take this example of how the lowest income households in America spend about $412 on the lottery every year. And when they're expected to come up with $400 in case of an emergency, they're unable to do so. This seems crazy to me, and it obviously seems crazy to you. But for someone who is living paycheck to paycheck, savings are out of the question. And it's their only chance, buying the lottery is their only chance to live the life of their dreams. And we won't get it because we're living their dream life. I'm not saying that spending money on the lottery is a good idea. But what I'm saying is, if we listen and empathize a little bit, about their life situations and what they must have gone through, then all of it kind of makes sense. So what seems to be the answer especially when finance is so closely linked to, who we are as a person? Well, the Japanese seem to have found the answer. About 100 years ago, Japan was a traditional agricultural country, unlike what it is today. How did a country like this went on to become one of the most tech-savvy, highly developed countries with one of the highest living standards in the world, especially when Japan has had their fair share of, disasters and calamities over the years? Well, the answer is the financial competence of the Japanese themselves. They're experts at personal finance. They use something called kakebo. Now, kakebo translates to household account book. And it first made its appearance in 1903 in a woman's magazine, created by the first woman journalist of Japan, Hani Motoko. Kakebo was originally written by Fumiko Chiba with the intention to empower women to understand their finances better and to make better decisions, within their households. And Kakebo remains to be one of the most regular practices that is prevalent in most households in Japan. Why, you ask? Because it works. Now, if you are interested in learning or trying out Kakebo, what you will need is two different notebooks. One is your main notebook and the other is your mini notebook. And this is your personal finance tracker. At the beginning of the month, you will start by listing down your fixed income, and then you'll write down your fixed expenses, and then you'll write down your savings target or your savings goal for that month. And then you'll go about your day, go about your month, with this financial tracker in your pocket. And every time you make a financial transaction, you will enter it inside this journal. Now, if you're hesitant to, pull out a journal every time you make a transaction, what you can do is you can use something like a note-taking app in your phone, so that, every time you're writing down your personal transactions, it will seem like you're texting. After you've tracked your personal finances every day for an entire month, you'll go back to your main notebook and write down all the expenses and categorize them into 4 different categories. And those categories are needs, wants, unexpected, and cultural. Now, needs, wants, and unexpected are fairly straightforward. But as far as cultural is concerned, it has to do with all the expenses that you make for entertainment, all your social interactions and things like that. And after you've categorized your expenses into 4 different categories, you'll write down the total money that you've spent throughout that month. And after you've written down your total expenses, you'll write down how much money you've saved. And after that, you'll move on to ask a very important question that is going to set the intention for another month, and that is, how are you going to improve for the upcoming month? So instead of some random dude on the internet giving you personal finance advice without even knowing you or without even understanding your life situation, I'd like to leave you with Kakebo, because Kakebo will give you data and it will tell you where your money has been going instead of you wondering where it went. There are a ton of digital personal finance apps out there, but the Japanese still prefer Kakebo because of the simple fact that you are entirely mindful whenever you are, writing down your personal expenses in this notebook. Kakebo focuses on your discipline rather than how smart you are. So before I say goodbye, I'd like to leave you with this quote by Peter Drucker, the father of modern management, and it goes something like this: whatever gets measured gets managed. So if you are new here, my name is Tubden and I talk about personal development, creative entrepreneurship and philosophy. If you are interested in these topics, please subscribe because you'll definitely like it here.